This is your Under Southern Screens spoiler alert. We will be spoiling the hell out of some Strictly Ballroom. So please watch the movie beforehand if you don't want it spoiled, or listen to us and then go watch it anyway. You might have a good time with our insights, then watching it. Have a good one.
I am the Night Rider.
You're terrible, Muriel.
Talk to me.
You gonna do that, Poggo?
You've been talking to the cops. Today is a brand new day.
No, that's it. It's the vibe.
G'day, fellow Aussie film lovers, and welcome to another episode of Under Southern Screens, the most strictly Australian cinema podcast. I'm Mitch.
And I'm Matthew. Strictly is absolutely right.
Exactly.
Who would have thought that, it would be a law or something? But how you doing today, Mitch? How's it going?
I'm doing really good. I got to go home early from my job.
Yes!
Sick.
That's a win.
I didn't do anything wrong, just like we had a short day today.
All the more time to think about our film for Under Southern Screens this week. You know, you came home, you ruminated on it, I'm sure.
I did. I didn't consider having a nap and then instead drink a Dare iced coffee.
Just keep up the grind set, mate. Don't you worry.
Oh, you better believe it.
Can you believe that this is our very, very first Baz Luhrmann episode of Under Southern Screens?
I cannot believe that. Wait, I can? I can believe that, but we're going to do the whole spiel later, but we're doing Strictly Ballroom.
Yes, we are. Strictly Ballroom.
And I, my history with Baz Luhrmann is a bit tenuous at best.
Ooh.
I mean, he seems like a lovely guy in general, right? Like, I'm not, please don't take any of this as like an attack on him,
That's
but
it,
I think Elvis is not a great movie. I straight up just did not enjoy that.
Okay. Just right out of the gate.
Right out of the gate,
Elvis
I think
enjoys.
Elvis is not a great movie. I have nothing against you if you enjoy it, but I found nothing in there that was good for me. And I think my issues with The Great Gatsby stem mostly from being forced to watch it 5 to 7 times in 2013.
Oh my gosh.
Because I went to America in 2013. And I was on one of those flights that you don't have your own screen. It was a communal screen.
Oh my gosh. And so it was just all Great Gatsby.
It was either Great Gatsby or the Will Smith and Jaden Smith vehicle After Earth. I got both of those movies back to back just continuously.
It's like the two tails on one coin.
It was horrendous. It was a nightmare. So that's my beef with Great Gatsby.
See, at that point, even I would hate Great Gatsby if I had to watch it. And if my only other option was After Earth.
It's not even an option. It was just back-to-back viewing, double screen. Just double feature back-to-back viewing.
What airliner was it?
It was probably United, honestly.
Oh, yeah. That does sound like United
It was
behavior.
probably United. So that's my history with Baz Luhrmann. But before I go into my thoughts on this one, how about you give us some background on, give us the rundown, give us the spiel.
I can absolutely do that, Mitch. Thank you for letting me do that.
I'm going to interrupt continuously.
No, thanks for opening the floodgates.
You're welcome.
Our film this week on USS is Strictly Ballroom, also known as the best Australian film ever made. Starting strong.
It's not weak.
Can you guys tell it's my week for the movie? Anyway. Directed by wannabe Peter Jackson, Baz Luhrmann, Strictly Ballroom is a sweeping romantic comedy dance drama set in Sydney and released in 1992. This was Baz Luhrmann's filmic directorial debut, the first in his Red Curtain trilogy of films, and is directly adapted from the stage play of the same name, also directed by Baz Luhrmann during his time at NIDA. I'm sure we will never talk about Baz Luhrmann ever again on this podcast. Seems pretty flash in the pan, to be honest. We follow Scott Hastings, the Michael Jordan of ballroom dancing, who suffers a crippling blow to his career after he is essentially blacklisted by dancing his own radical steps in the Pan Pacific Grand Prix. Scott constantly battles between his devilish mother Shirley, played by the excellent Pat Thompson, the Abby Lee Miller of ballroom dancing, his meek and washed up father Doug, played by Barry Otto, the Michael Jordan's dad of ballroom dancing, and the president of the Australian Ballroom Dancing Federation, Barry Fife, played by Australian screen legend Bill Hunter. So much drama, and to add insult to injury, Scott falls in love with the unconfident but gifted Fran, played by Tara Maurice, who also performs a cover of the song Time After Time in this film that is objectively better than the Cyndi Lauper original. The film is known for its frenetic, fast-paced editing and cinematography, sweeping dance sequences, and revolutionary themes that would be completely groundbreaking to anyone outside the doors of NIDA or any creative institution around the world ever. Strictly Ballroom was produced on a measly amount of $3 million, but somehow ended up at the Cannes Film Festival and jump-started the careers of Baz Luhrmann and his wife and muse Catherine Martin, whose costume design birthed the completely original and not overused hot take that, I think Catherine Martin is the real talent here. I mean, she is, but you don't see people saying the same thing about Craig Pearce. Other notable cast in this film include Gia Caritas, a young Sonia Kruger, and the guy that plays Stu on the fantastic mockumentary sitcom Frontline. It was released in the Australian film resurgence of the early 1990s and has a lasting cultural impact to this day. I bloody love this film and petition that the film, as well as the others in the Red Curtain trilogy, be finally released on 4K. I will buy 10 copies. I love this film. So can you tell I like this film?
Honestly, didn't come across.
Yeah, I was being a bit modest.
If you could just one last time, for the record, what do you think of this film?
I think that this film is a modern Australian masterpiece. It is not Baz Luhrmann's best film. It would be if Moulin Rouge didn't exist. But Moulin Rouge is a major guilty pleasure movie, and I'm sure we will get to it down the track. But yeah,
probably.
I think Strictly Ballroom is a masterpiece of a film, and given it's a directorial debut, it's spellbinding to say the least. Yeah, Baz Luhrmann, yeah, I love him. I can't get enough of him. From your perspective, had you heard of this film before going into it? What was your preconceived notion of Strictly Ballroom?
I knew about Strictly. I possibly didn't know inherently it was a Baz Luhrmann movie, but I'd heard the name of the movie before. I wasn't surprised to find that it was a Baz Luhrmann movie, though.
Yes, as soon as it starts, it's very, very clearly
Oh, I mean,
Baz
even
Luhrmann
before
joint.
that, just being told, oh, this is a Baz Luhrmann movie, I went, oh, yeah, that makes sense to me.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's good. I liked it.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Yeah, exactly.
I don't think I like it as much as everyone else enjoys it.
Get out. Podcast over.
And that was USS. Never to
Thanks
go
for
again.
listening.
Thanks for listening.
Cancelled.
Yeah.
I understand that I maybe have a very strong attachment to this film.
You're not the only one, though. A lot of my mutuals on Letterboxd really love this movie as well. Someone even went so far as to say it's the only good Australian movie, which
I mean,
pissed me off to no extent.
You should have just linked our podcast in the description, well, actually, we have a whole...
That's not gonna happen. I'm never doing that.
Epic dunk in the Letterboxd comments.
Oh, dude, getting ratioed on Letterboxd would actually be insane. But I did hold beef with that and considered DMing them on Messenger to go, what did you mean by this exactly? What?
Yeah.
His brother never watched, I don't know, Mad Max. Seriously,
Yeah.
Mad Max is my
Yeah.
go-to, but just seriously, I do love Mad Max. I can't wait to talk about Mad Max. Anyway, it's good. I think my one big criticism of this is that I think they should have kept the mockumentary style the whole way through.
Yes, yeah.
At the start, when it's introduced, I went, "Oh, this is not at all I was expecting. I love this. This is great,
fun,
especially because the way they're amping up. Because I didn't fully know it was a comedy going in. Because this is a comedy. This is straight up hilarious.
Legit.
So when they were going, oh, Scott, he did this horrible thing. Because they're talking about what he did as if it was horrendous and horrible and disgusting.
He pulled a Tonya Harding or something.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and I was like, did he sexually harass someone? What is going on here? And it just turns out he was just a bit more
he dared to dance his own steps.
He dared to dance different. And that was just hilarious. And just getting all the talking heads and the little mother of Scott and stuff like that, getting the names of the characters.
The thing is, it only happens for the first 10 minutes of the movie.
And then look, the movie still works perfectly great without it. I was having a giggle. I was having a chuckle. I was having a good time. I was invested in the ending. I mean, of course they were going to dance together, and of course, it was going to end happily. But I was invested. I wanted to see it turn out. I was excited to see them have their happy ending.
Yeah, it's such a whimsical sort of effort, it's a simplistic structure and it's very sort of melodramatic, but that's something I love about Baz Luhrmann is because it's got that self-aware comedy to it where you can just be like, okay, I'm along for the ride. Yeah.
The characters treat everything super seriously, but the movie doesn't. There's just the way I can't even go into examples. Just the whole movie is just framed in this way where everyone's just
wild ride.
so serious about don't know, they talk like he's going into war and stuff, and
Yeah,
and,
it's like
you know,
the be all and end all. And
Yeah.
meanwhile, like the characters are like running spa businesses
Yeah,
and
exactly.
like
Oh,
and
dude.
auto detailing shops.
Oh, the
It's so
biggest,
funny.
The biggest laugh from me was around the start when they're going, "Oh, when's he going to get a new partner? When's he going to get a new partner?" And the
Yeah.
antagonist, not the main antagonist, like the dancing rival, is in a spa with his ex partner, I think, at that point.
Yeah, his ex-partner,
and
yeah,
it
yeah.
zooms out though, and it's not even his spa. He's just in a
Yeah.
spa
It's just at his shop that he owns.
So
Yeah,
funny.
yeah.
It just threw
so
me for
funny.
a loop. I was
Yeah.
like, what?
And that's the thing I love about this movie is that all of the performances, like every actor knows what movie they're in,
Yeah.
and they're just giving it 120% in terms
So
of exaggeration
earnest.
and
Yeah.
excess. And I'm just like, yes, the person who plays it with the most self-awareness is the mother, right?
Yeah.
Pat Thompson. She just goes all out. And this could be a movie where that lack of, winking to the audience that, we're in on this as well. It could have gone a completely different way.
Important to mention, because we forgot to mention this time, this is one of the movies that's in our intro.
It is, yeah, exactly.
Because we forgot to
right.
mention that
we were
Picnic at
silly.
Hanging Rock
We were
is also in
dumb.
our intro.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure people were shouting at us to mention last
In
week.
the comments,
Yeah.
yeah. So we literally remembered it as soon as we wrapped. And we're like, oh,
Also forgot to talk about Peter Weir.
oh yeah, we forgot to talk about so much in that movie. But so this one, this is an Australian film that I believe is iconic enough to be in our intro because the dialogue itself has such an Australian tint to it. And
want to do the Boggo Boggo?
the Poggo, mate.
The Boggo Boggo.
Poggo.
Come on, number 100.
Yeah, it's so good. It's just like, and the accents are, it just
funny.
makes it such a colloquial movie to watch and quote and discuss.
That little girl is so funny too. Like that part when they're doing all the testing for the different partners and she's just talking crap about each one.
She's literally just
good.
looking on from the sidelines, and it's just like,
good.
it's funny.
Yeah,
as.
I have to disclose though, I watched this in quite a haze.
Yes, yeah.
I drank a lot of wine the night before.
Bro was in a Baz Luhrmann movie right before he watched Strictly Ballroom.
A little bit, yeah. I drank a lot of wine the night before. Got home quite late. Woke up the next morning, went, I'm not gonna have a chance to watch this Monday because it was Sunday and we recorded Tuesday.
That's it.
I messaged you saying, is my current state gonna ruin the conversation?
And I'm like,
you
no.
said you need to do what you feel like you need to do, and I was like, I'm gonna have to power through.
You just have to go
this
for
movie
it, man.
washed through me quite a bit in a good way though.
Yeah.
This is a good movie to watch while you're hungover as frick.
Yeah, you don't really have to pay attention. You can let it wash over you, but at the same time, it is such a big stimulant, like a visual stimulant, dopamine rush.
A very fun movie, and the colors. You mentioned the costume design, which is brilliant and so
Captain
tacky,
Martin.
and I love it. It's so awesome.
And the makeup, I love Scott's ex-partner, Gia Carita's. Her makeup is fantastic, and that's just another thing I want to point out. Everyone in this movie is hot.
Oh yeah,
everyone
so
in
attractive.
this movie.
Yeah, except
Just
for
like,
anyone who's like a villain, kind of. Or
yeah,
like
100%.
Yeah.
It's just so archetypal.
Yeah,
so like
everyone's so hot. They were all like size 3s,
glistening, and the costumes are so ornate. And I want to talk about the lead, Scott, right?
Yeah.
Because I think, and I know I love this film, I personally think he is the weakest part of the film.
Yeah, I do agree. Absolutely. He is the least interesting part. He has to have more of a personality, and he's kind of a wet blanket. Reckon it's probably a script problem, honestly. Like,
yeah, and I think it comes from that whole thing of he's playing it for arrogance, and he doesn't really grow and change.
No, he
much.
kind of
That's
just
the
does
thing.
what he's told throughout the whole movie. His growth is picking who's telling him what to do, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
The instigating incident, which is him doing his own stuff, that is his own choice. But from that point onwards, he's just listening to his mom telling him never to do that again, or anyone
and
else.
He's listening to Fran,
who then tells him you should do these moves you want. And then everything beyond that, anytime he and Fran butt heads, it's just because he starts listening to someone else again.
And it's like, oh, I thought you were listening to me.
Yeah, it's like, I thought you were going to do this. Yeah. And it's just, yeah, he's weak sauce. I mean, he's a very attractive guy, and he's a great dancer.
And he's now a very accomplished politician in
Is he
real
really?
life. Yeah,
I
Paul
had
Mercurio.
no idea.
I'm going to do a quick look up of what party he's subscribed to, but I know he,
well, hopefully
he
it's a
assumed
good
office
one.
very recently. He's part of the Victorian Legislative Assembly.
What does that even mean? I don't even know what that is.
Going back to my year 12 legal studies really quick.
I never did legal studies, so I'm screwed.
Yeah, I also love Tara Maurice as Fran. Fran is a fantastic character.
She's fun. Tara Marie is really fun, and I really enjoy Fran as a character. She's a lot more interesting.
And I love that her character isn't brought much attention to until the right moment.
Yeah.
The first time we see her is she's like essentially pushed over by the ex-partner.
And then Scott.
And it's like, oh, I guess that's just a funny gag. Haha, like they're so self-absorbed in their own world that they're knocking over like the nerd character or whatever.
Yeah.
And then we as an audience forget about her, like the people in the movie forget about her, and then she comes up and it's like, oh, that's like
crazy.
So it's like the audience's interpretation of who this character is grows and evolves with the characters. It's just such a really masterful piece of story structure, in my opinion.
And I really enjoy that segment where her family is teaching him how to kind of do that more Spanish style dancing.
Paso doble.
That's the one.
Oh
yeah,
my gosh.
That's really fun.
It's like the expansion of culture and the expansion out of the rule book, which is the whole point of the movie is breaking free from convention and going your own way, but also at the same time honoring the legacy of the past.
Yeah, exactly.
On that point, I've spoken to a lot of people about this film, and for a lot of them, they sort of check out of the dance sequences. What was your take on that? Because they do kind of wash over you, but what do you reckon?
What I think's really funny is that the more personable moments of dance where it's just Scott and Fran are kind of better than when they're actually at the competition, mostly because of like the emotional core, but also just feels like the dance moves themselves are better there. I feel like it's almost deliberate that when they get to the competition, everyone just kind of like, I don't want to say sucks, because I'm pretty sure they all can dance better than I can, but no one really dances that good. And I think it furthers the bit that this is taken so seriously by everyone, but everyone's quick to mention like, this is the amateur league, this is like, and you mentioned before, everyone's got a second job because no one's actually living off of this. No one's a pro.
Barry Fife and his VHS business or whatever, like his workout ballroom dancing VHS business. It's so funny.
I don't know. I don't think I checked out of the dancing them. I think the dancing I found just as, to me, it was part of the bit. It was part of the joke. And so I found that funny because I was watching just extended moments of people being better than average at dancing, but in a way that it meant that when they were talking about it, the way they talked about it was not
they're just moving in a slightly more flowing way.
Yeah, just that moment in front of the Coca-Cola sign and all that.
Oh my gosh, can we talk about that?
I mean, we can. That's why I brought it up.
Yeah, funny that. Sorry.
No, actually, Matthew, we can't. It's off limits.
It's almost like you know how to seamlessly transition into different talking points.
Yeah, I'm trained. What can I say?
I love that Coca-Cola scene. It's probably top 5 in any Australian movie.
Wow.
Everything about that scene works for me. The correlation between rising above the dance studio, so it's metaphorical visually, and then the excellent cover of Time After Time, which as I said in the intro, I think is way better than the Cyndi Lauper song.
Do you actually love the use of that song throughout this movie, by the way? It was very fun.
Yeah, it's so good.
And also firmly cementing the Baz Luhrmann stereotype of using a song but in a different cover of the song with a different style.
Yeah, this is the infancy of that, and it just works so well, and the dancing is so tender and personal, and they do it at golden hour, obviously, so there's a nice sunset in the background. Film
nice
students
sunset.
love that. Hashtag
Bring back Coca-Cola.
Community Council of Merrickville, bring back the Coca-Cola sign above that one building.
It's too long a
in your
hashtag.
city.
It's too long a hashtag.
Yeah, sorry, I'm not good at SEO. But yeah, and then the other thing about it is like seeing Scott's dad like ruminating on his past by dancing below them. Just like the symbolism.
They have risen above the past, everything that the weight that the past holds to dance freely and in front of the Coca-Cola sign.
It's a metaphor for buying a lot of Coke.
Yeah, buy Coke. And I'm not talking about cola.
Well, wait till we get to Moulin Rouge. Anyway, what did you think of that little subplot there, the older generation, the Ghostbusters afterlife of Strictly Ballroom? I can't believe I just said that.
Horrendous that you said that. Take that back.
I rescind my movie card.
This is way better than Ghostbusters Afterlife. I'm going to be real. I got confused at the end about the explanation that dad was giving. So the first explanation by, is it Barry? Is he the guy who runs the...
Barry Five, the president.
That's not a real explanation of what occurred. That's just something he's saying to manipulate Scott, and he's, lying and being
being a bit cheeky.
Well, cheeky is
being
one
a bit of a
word.
stinky poo-poo.
Some people would add another C word after cheeky to describe what he's doing. I then got confused, and I reckon this is probably the hungover haze.
This is where the film lost you.
This is where the film lost me. And to be honest, all I had to understand was that he had been lied to and the dad hadn't just given up on his dreams. I got through that, and that was enough to pack the emotional weight of the ending, but I don't actually know the intricacies. So as far as I'm aware, his mum didn't dance with his dad at the Pan Pacific.
So she danced with Scott's trainer.
So why did she do that?
Because the mother was worried that they would lose because Scott's dad was dancing his own steps or whatever. So they didn't even try. And this is one of my favorite moments in the movie when Scott's dad, who has been neglected to speak the whole movie, is like, son, can I bend your ear for a tick? The whole movie.
Yeah.
But he finally gets to just let loose in this final moment. And it ends off with that,
it's awesome.
That climactic line, we lived our lives in fear, and it ruminates around the stadium and everyone turns to look at him. And it's just such a poignant moment in the film. And then also like something that really hits me because I'm very focused on like inadequacy as a concept of humanity and like what we get to do in our lifetime. And it's just such an interesting sort of insinuation that this character has a lifelong guilt of never...
Yeah, like a regret.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just, it's such a poignant moment about independence and rebellion against the system. And it's
good stuff.
Cool.
No, it's good.
Cool.
I mean, even though I didn't fully understand what was going on, I still had a good time. And also, I mean, I didn't have to fully understand what was going on for the "We lived our life in fear" line to really work. That was good stuff. And then also when he's the one who starts the clap.
Oh yeah, it's just rising and then
kind of the rest of the stadium joins in. But then you notice that some people don't join in, and they're like, you wouldn't join in, would you little scrubs?
Yeah, you little haters. Yeah,
Looking at the way other people describe it and the way you describe it, I think I just didn't connect with it as much as everyone else did.
Yeah.
Maybe when I'm not as hungover one day, I'll watch it again and I'll find it.
I think all of Baz Luhrmann's movies are ones that grow on you,
sure.
I think.
So maybe I'll actually love Great Gatsby once I watch it again.
Well, I mean, you've already watched it 7 times, mate.
Yeah, but
I
was 13 and it was...
That one's in the can. I've watched this maybe 4 or 5 times, like over the past couple of years, and each time I've loved it more and been able to appreciate it more. Although, I will admit, Mitch, and I want to lay this on you real quick, I have film prejudices, and they all appear in Strictly Ballroom, and I want to lay them out here on the pod.
Let's go through your film prejudices.
Yeah, that's right. So,
number 1.
I cannot stand slow motion footage that isn't shot at a higher frame rate.
Oh, so it's choppy?
Yeah, it's just choppy slow-mo that's like...
I also hate that.
It's here in full force.
It's something that there's another director who I do like, but they do that often. Might be Sam Raimi? I can't remember.
It doesn't look good.
It frustrates me. Yeah,
good.
It's garbage.
Yeah. And it's like, why do you do this?
Number 2.
This is sort of in a similar ilk. Freeze framing on a still frame to insinuate drama. And they do this a little bit. So it's like, he'll be like looking at his partner leaving, and they don't hold on like a shot of him like reacting to it, but they just freeze frame.
They just cut the actual image.
Yeah, into like just a singular cell. I don't like it. It just, if you're planning on doing a dramatic hold like that, shoot it for real. Don't do it in post. It looks so cheesy.
I kind of like that.
Yeah,
I like that kind of cheese.
And that's why they're my prejudices.
No, real. I don't think it looks good. That's not what I'm saying. Yeah. But I think depending on the film, and I think this is the kind of film it works for. Yeah. Because it's cheesy, and you said it's cheesy. It's the kind of cheese I like. But I do also understand that not all cheese is for everyone. Some people aren't a fan of the blue. You know what I'm saying? Like,
again, these are completely exclusive to my film watching prejudices, and you should not take them into account when watching this movie. But those 2 things are in this movie a lot. And it's that's the only reason I don't give this 5 stars is because like it doesn't work here in my opinion.
I was curious on your rating on Letterboxd why
Yeah.
it wasn't higher.
Aside from that, man, I love Strictly Ballroom. I think the
good.
performances are fantastic. The music is insanely good. Not only just the licensed tracks, but also the actual score itself is just so lively and full. And yet, Love Is in the Air to close out the film. Fantastic inclusion. Honestly, culture defining for Australian culture. I did a bit of research on this. Like, that song is forever ingrained with Strictly Ballroom these days. They played it at the Sydney 2000 closing ceremony. John Paul Young did Love Is in the Air, and they had a bunch of ballroom dancers out on the field. That was our representation of Australia to the world in that moment. So it's just, it's impeccable.
Kind of awesome. I kind of love how different the movies we've watched so far are. We've really managed to express how broad, in quotation mark, a genre is of Australian film. Like, it's... I don't mean to like bring it up, but Mad Max escaped containment. Like,
That's true. That's true.
It's my go-to. It's my go-to on everything.
That's okay. It's fair. It's fair. You like
I love Mad
like
Max.
Mad Max. I like Baz Luhrmann. Where like fish and chips were like peas in pods.
Fish and
mate.
chips, eh? We're gonna have a wee fish and chips, wee bit of
Man,
flake.
I like some battered flake. Now I want to get some flake.
I always get a hamburger.
You're a hamburger fish and chip shop, man.
There's nothing like a fish and chips hamburger.
My best friend of maybe 10 years is the exact same, and we still haven't come to a mutual consensus about this.
What's wrong with me enjoying a lovely hamburger?
Nothing's wrong with you enjoying a lovely hamburger, but you go to a fish and chip shop for fish and chip.
No, I go for hamburger.
Oh, yeah, okay, all right. Well, I guess we're going to have to agree to disagree, and that's the great part about this country.
We can agree that dim sums and potato cakes up top.
Yes,
Up
yeah,
top.
give me that. Yum, 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 yum.
Yum, yum, yum.
Delicioso.
But fried dim sum.
Can I be honest with you, Mitch?
Yeah.
I ate 2 cornettos throughout the runtime of Strictly
That is
Ballroom.
awesome. Awesome. I was considering just drinking half a bottle of Pepsi Max because I just was like, I need something to drown out my mouthfeel right now.
The fact that this is a directorial debut gives me hope. That's all I'll say.
Look, I'm not going to consider myself a connoisseur of the Baz Luhrmann style since I've only watched 2 of them, and one of them was in 2013. Well, one of them was 7 times in 2013. But there is a style already here.
Yeah.
You know, there's you can see the beginnings of a very particular way to craft a film,
And that's wild.
Pretty rad.
That's insane. You know,
Any artist having their own style from an early stage like that, like not even like movies, just any kind of artist.
and it's so unique as well.
Exactly, having such a unique and interesting style, it's very impressive. He's obviously a very strong auteur, even though I don't like auteur theory, but
But I think if we're talking about auteur, I think Baz Luhrmann fits that.
or
fits it to a
auteurs
T.
because his wife did amazing
Oh,
costumes.
yeah, of course, yeah. An interesting story about this film is that the producer, whose name was Ted Albert, he died before they started shooting.
That's horrible.
And the whole movie was in jeopardy, essentially, because he was like the main
Yeah.
financier or whatever. And Ted Albert's wife, who was not in the movie business at all, like it was, like completely foreign world, I guess, bankrolled the entire movie from his like will because he knew. She said, and I watched this in an interview, she said, my husband could spot talent from a mile away, and that talent was Baz Luhrmann.
That's honestly beautiful.
Yeah, it's such a... And the fact that we were this close to having denied the careers of not only Baz Luhrmann, Catherine Martin, countless Australian films, but yeah, the ripple effect on stuff like the Australian film industry and, the careers of Hollywood actors, in fact. It's just, all of this sparked from Strictly Ballroom, in my opinion. And it's just such a beautiful thing that this movie was made, in my opinion.
Incredible. Well, in speaking about the ripples of Australian culture, can you give us the numero uno Australian thing in this film?
The most Australian thing about Strictly Ballroom, in my opinion, and this is going to be a bit of a discussion point, is the Boggo Poggo scene from Wayne, played by Stu from Frontline. I love this moment. It is the most niche little bit of Australian accent comedy of all time. And I just want to run through it. So throughout the whole movie, Wayne, who's played by Stu from Frontline, which is a very cool, hip, topical reference that I've said 3 times at this point.
I don't even know what Stu from Frontline means.
Someone gets it. Someone gets it.
So 50% of the co-hosts purists of this podcast don't know what Matt's talking about.
But you know what I'm talking about when I say Wayne wants to learn that Boggo Poggo.
I definitely know that Wayne wants to learn the Boggo Poggo.
Exactly. He asks Scott to learn the Boggo Poggo. He asks President Barry Fife to learn the Boggo Poggo. And Barry Fife essentially uses the learning of the Boggo Poggo to sexually harass / hit on Wayne's fiance / dance partner.
Very awesome. Very cool.
Which is a great, interesting, cool moment. And yeah, so the most Australian thing about Strictly Ballroom is the Boggo Poggo. And that's why it's in our intro, ladies and gentlemen.
It is indeed iconic.
What a moment. What a beautiful moment. What a beautiful film. Thank you for watching this, Mitch. When we first started talking about doing this podcast and you said you hadn't really watched a ton of Baz Luhrmann movies, I just got so excited, just because it's like, I love Baz Luhrmann's filmography, and it's a filmography that I'm not able to discuss in depth with just because of how sort of out there it is. So yeah, I'm so happy that this film had an impact on you.
I'm happy too, and I'm actually excited to watch the rest of this Red Curtains trilogy. Did you call
Red
it?
Curtain trilogy. So it's Strictly Ballroom as number 1, and then Romeo and Juliet number 2, and Moulin Rouge as number 3.
I was trying to figure out what the second. Well, I guess because you mentioned Moulin Rouge earlier. I went, well, what's the third one then?
Yeah.
So it's Romeo and Juliet.
And
okay,
like that, you could debate Romeo and Juliet might not be an Australian film, but it is Baz Luhrmann. We'll watch it.
Look, we're gonna watch a lot of movies that aren't technically Australian, but just are made by an Australian director, probably.
Yeah. So but
we're definitely gonna end up talking about Mad Max Fury Road.
Well, that's right. And that wasn't even shot in Australia.
Movie.
Yeah,
Was it? Yeah, it was shot somewhere in Africa because it rained in Australia, so they couldn't film here.
Yeah, when we say Australian film, like it has the essence and the aura of Australian film. Some very clearly subjective markers, but we'll watch it and we'll talk about it. And it's been fun.
Speaking of subjective views on Australian film, next week.
We won't spoil what it is, but
I was gonna say, but it's a goofy one.
It's a goofy one, and it is probably the most Australian film we've watched so far.
And I'm excited that I'm the one who gets to present it.
I know. I can't wait to see what you come up with. It's going to be fun.
Excited.
But you'll never guess what it is, so you'll have to come back
I don't think
next
you will.
Wednesday.
I don't think anyone will, yeah.
Yeah, we're being a bit cheeky with this one. We're being a bit goofy with this one.
We won't be like this normally, though.
No, we're serious and analytical people. We do a fun podcast. Mitch, where can people find out more about next week's episode and about Under Southern Screens?
Well, they can find out more at Under Southern Screens Pod on TikTok, Threads, Instagram, and YouTube. YouTube?
Yeah, and YouTube. Yeah, we were very good with that. That was good.
We're still getting used to it.
Yeah.
And you can also email us.
Yeah, shoot us an email.
You can email some reviews, email us some requests, email us just some comments about past ones we've looked at.
Send us a photo of Paul Mercurio from Strictly Ballroom.
Send us a clip of you saying Boggo Poggo.
Yes, do that.
Maybe we'll have a competition.
Oh,
a Boggo Poggo competition.
A Boggo Poggo off. Yes, nice.
See how Aussie you can sound, especially you international people. It's kind of cheating if you're Australian. But yeah, you can send all that at undersouthernscreenspod@gmail.com.
Yes, we would love to read whatever you post.
Also, leave us a review on your podcast streamer of choice.
Yes, give us 5 stars or else we won't do any more.
If you give us too many 1 stars, I might quit just from being sad.
I will be a bit sad. We're Australian. We have major imposter syndrome.
It's true. We're going to get tall poppied.
That's exactly right. On that fun note, thank you for listening to this episode of Under Southern Screens.
Thank you so much.
We'll see you next week. Have fun.
Bye.
And keep an eye on them Southern Screens. Thanks for listening to another episode of Under Southern Screens. We'll be back next week to talk more films down under. We just want to attribute that our opening title is Heavy Duty by Zoo, and our closing title is Heavyweight by Fell Creek. Thanks so much for listening, and Mitch and I will see you in the next episode. See you next time. Under Southern Screens would like to acknowledge the stolen lands on which this podcast is recorded and produced, and pay tribute to the Wurundjeri and Woiwurrung people of the Kulin Nation and Camaragal people of the Eora Nation.
Sovereignty was never ceded, and we pay respect to all Indigenous elders past, present, and emerging. Always was, always will be Aboriginal land.